you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. How was your day?
It was good.
Yeah. Thank you for driving all the way from Vanderbilt Park to come speak to us and bring about awareness and awakening in our communities as
My
well.
pleasure.
Awesome stuff. So can you just tell us a bit about yourself before we get started with the actual talk for the night?
My name is Celia Mutsweni. That's my maiden surname.
Okay.
And I was married to Zengele, so I'm still using the surname.
Okay.
And I'm a mother of 3. I'm an educator. I've been teaching for 24 years.
Wow.
Yes. And I would like to see myself as a motivator.
Okay.
Motivating other women.
Other women. And you're also a blogger as well.
Yes, I have a Facebook blog called Denial of a Married Woman.
We'll get into that in just a bit. So you shared with me a very touching, heartfelt message that took place within your household when you were still married to Bab Zengel, right?
Yes.
Okay. But before we get into it, let's just try and paint a picture, because you go by a very, very, very strong title, Denial of a Married Woman. So this now is brought in my view, because now there's still other certain things that are blinding, good things about a particular person that brings about denial within someone else. Could you just briefly take us through about the early moments of your marriage at the time, and how would you describe your husband then before any other thing happened?
I was a very happy woman. I always describe myself as a woman that was happily married. That's how I could describe my marriage then. I was married to a man that was very loving, extremely helpful, calm, cool, collected, thoughtful. Yeah, that was the man I was married to.
So during those moments, would you say there have been certain signs of violence, or possibility that he may also have been from a dysfunctional family, or whatever the case? Did he show any signs?
Himself was a calm person, as I said, and there was no sign of any violence whatsoever. He was so loving. He was, I've never heard him raise a voice to me, ever, in our 13-year marriage. Even before, I've known him years before, and we dated 2 years before we got married. So in the entire 15 years, I've never seen any sign in him that could have
Suggested
suggested that he was capable of such. But he had told me something about him while we were still dating.
Okay.
He had confided in me that he was molested as a child himself when he was 8 years old. So besides that, he looked normal. He was like, okay, like, I used to ask myself, what have I done to deserve such a good man in my life? I must have done something right. Wow. That's how I felt.
So during the conversation where he revealed to you that as an 8-year-old he got molested, did you perhaps carry on the conversation to ask if he dealt with it and stuff like that?
Never. It was a single moment conversation that happened once. And because he looked like he's having everything under control, he didn't look like a person that needs help.
That needed help.
So there was never a need on my side to carry on the conversation.
To want to push it further,
yes. Yes, and remember, when you love someone, you think everything about them is perfect.
It's perfect, yeah.
And if you knew him as a person, you'd also not think that he needs help of any kind, because he looked like he could be giving other people help, because he was in a religious denomination which I cannot mention, and he was holding a good position in there, and he was a spiritual person. He
had all these qualities of a good man.
Yes. You would strongly believe that this man is living the life that he reads in the Bible. That he's not just a reader of the Bible, but he is
the liver of it.
Yes, he looked that way.
So as a father, how would you describe him before the ordeal?
As a father, he was a perfect father. Perfect father, loving father. The problem between me and him was that I was the disciplinarian in the family.
Okay.
And he wasn't. He believed in being calm, talking nicely to the children.
Yeah.
Yes, he was just like that. And
you were like any other woman.
He played his role as a father. In every way possible.
So now let's talk about the events that took place on the 3rd of June 2004, where your daughter came up to you and told you that her father urinated on her. What went through your mind at the time when you heard that?
The previous night, that means on the evening of the 2nd of June 2004, the child had developed a fever. We couldn't sleep that night because it was feverish, very sick. I was new at work.
Okay.
So I decided, instead of me taking the day off and take the child to the doctor on the 3rd of June, because now he was working shifts, he can stay with her that morning and take her to the doctor, and I'll at least ask at work to come early, then to relieve him so that he can go take over his shift for 2 to 10. And that was the agreement. And I did just that. I come home early, he goes to work, but before he goes to work, I asked, did you take the child to the doctor? He says no. There was no need to take the child to the doctor because, as you can see, this morning when she woke up, she was fine, as you can see. So I said, okay. And I looked at the child.
She seemed fine.
Yes, she seemed very fine. So he went to work. We stayed with the daughter until about 8 in the evening. Just before we sleep, the child seemed to be very hyper. She doesn't want to sleep. And then out of the blue, she just says to me, and she's pointing between her thighs. She says, "Ma wa tseba papa o nkutetse ka mo." She's pointing, and I got shocked. The shock I got, I still cannot describe it even today. Because now, like, the pointing and what she is saying.
What she's saying.
Like, it's definitely associated.
It's way above her rank.
And now, can you imagine, like, the person that I know is not capable of this, and but then I cannot ignore this. By then, I was a teacher for several years. So now it bothered me because I've dealt with cases of sexual molestation at work many times before. I knew by then that this is something that you cannot take light. So that very evening, I called an ambulance and I told them, this is not a matter of emergency, but a child has just said this to me. So I would like to have her checked now because I feel like I can't wait for the morning.
For the next day.
I wasn't driving then. I didn't even have a license. Now, denial of a married woman kicks in because I have friends that I could have contacted to say, so anybody, can you please come and take me, let's go to this hospital at this night and have. But the denial says, what if there's no such a thing? And then now I would have spread my news to other people. They would spill out and there would be no control after this.
And you resorted to keeping it
Let
yourself.
me just keep it in this container. Let me contain it. Let me tell the neutral people. Ambulances know no one that I know. So if I contact them, we can deal with us. Yes.
Yeah.
And we did that. They said there's nothing that involves sexual molestation that is not an emergency. Prepare that child. The ambulance is on the way. They came. They took us to the Midval Hospital. Midval Hospital is in 3 Rivers at Fenache.
So at this point, did you inform your husband?
No.
Oh, okay.
Not at all. Then we go to the hospital. We get there. The doctor checks the child. Even before the doctor checks the child, whilst I'm on this this reception, I remember it looked like this one.
Okay.
The table looked like this. I'm busy with this woman filling in the forms. Here comes two police officers. They're looking for Mrs. Zengel. The shock I got was out of this world because now, who called the police? And I'm trying to contain this.
Yeah.
Who called them now? Why are they here? And the ambulance man that was handing us over to the hospital described to me that when we have such cases, by law, we must report to Childline. Childline then takes the matter to the nearest police station. Hence, we see the police. Now, by the time the child is checked by the doctor,
being examined,
one of the police officers is with me by the doctor. The doctor checks the child. He says no, the child was not penetrated. You know, I've cut this story long, this long story short. Yes. You know, I felt so relieved because now I think that's what I wanted to hear. That this cannot be true. The man that I loved on first sight, cannot be capable of this. I cannot be loving a monster. And this man, the way I know his love for this child, it's not possible that he could have done this. So the relief I got when the doctor says,
there are no signs of penetration.
No signs of penetration. You know, it was like, but there was a white discharge on this child. And as he took the swab and took a sample of that discharge, he asked me, what am I bathing the child with? What soap am I using? I said, I'm using Lux. And he said, it's advisable that you use Sunlight because other soaps are not so mild. So the best soap to bathe a baby is a Sunlight. Now, to me, this is again another sensible explanation as to why now there is a discharge on a 3-year-old.
Okay.
I get relaxed. We get out of there. The police now, remember we came with an ambulance?
Yeah.
Ambulance doesn't take you home.
Yeah.
The police now are taking us home. Instead of taking us home, they took us to the police station. And by then they said, Mommy, can you please come and write a statement for us? You know, I said to them, you were there when the doctor checked.
Denial kicked in.
Yeah, there is no way my husband did this because the child was not penetrated. But then they said to me, a 3-year-old cannot make such a story ever. They can make up any other story, but not such a story. And then I refused. I said, you don't know my husband. My husband is a Christian. My husband is, I said all the good qualities. So there is just no way he could have done this. I believe what the doctor said. Now they ask me, why would a child lie about their father? What kind of a father is he? And as you describe him, there's just no way that child can say such a thing, such a huge thing about such a kind person that you're talking about. Then they say to me, are you aware that even though this person may not have penetrated this child, he may have ejaculated on her without any penetration, which is a great possibility because we have worked with so many cases and we have seen this happening. Some molesters, particularly when they are related to their victims, they get very kind. At the beginning, they start by just grooming the child and not penetrate. They would penetrate later on, while after gaining trust of the child. So, even if he had penetrated on the child, he has ejaculated on the child, and not penetrated on the child, that is still illegal according to South African law.
It's sexual abuse.
So we still need a statement. I refused. I said no, I can't. They said to me, okay, can you please just write, even if we don't want your opinion, just what the child said. Because we really need to take this box. Because the doctor took a swab, put it in the red kit box, and handed it to them, handed over to them. So they have this box. They're telling me, this box needs to be sent to the forensic lab so that we can know for sure there was no, in that discharge, there was no ejaculation. There was no semen at all. So that can also be determined by us having a statement so that we can have a case number. I refused. They gave me a number to say, if you change your mind, please, we're going to keep this box for plus minus 14 days. If you decide to change your mind, call us, please. And we urge you to just change your mind about just making a statement. Then I was just happy that
it's over.
Yes, it's over. They're taking me home. I'm glad I get into the house before him. And 5 minutes as just we have just entered, and the child is asleep now. He had sleeping in the car of the police, and they come in. Yeah, he comes in. The police just left. He comes in.
And what feeling did you have at that moment?
Yeah. Now I have a conflict within me. The conflict is I have done something that I've never done before. I was this very obedient woman. I would never do such a thing without involving him, without informing him. Normally, I would have called him and tell him, I'm moving from point A to B because 1, 2, 3. But this particular time, I didn't. Because somehow, as much as I had denial, but he was also a suspect until I could get
and you were also shocked,
Yes. And my line of duty is playing a role. I've seen this happening before. But even though it's hard for me that it can happen into my house, but still, I have that awareness that there is a slight
possibility that.
Yes. And now that the doctor has confirmed the worst that it didn't happen, now I feel guilty. There's so much guilt as to why did I even leave the house and go there? What will he say? But then there is a slight voice in my head that says, why did the child say that? And the police also have planted
another different
seed. A seed to say, what if there was ejaculation? And that thought was disgusting to me as well. So I had to ask him. Then, but it took some time.
So you actually did ask him?
Yes, I did ask him. And on asking him, he got so shocked. And the shock I saw on his face was what I wanted to see
as well.
I want to see him shocked so that I can quest my
suspicions and be settled.
My thirst to say, no, he cannot. The way he's shocked, he's hearing this for the first time. I don't see it as this person could have been shocked because now the child has spoken. To me, I saw it as a confirmation that he didn't do it.
I'm incapable of doing this.
He asked me, do you really think that low of me? Do you really think I can do that to my own child? Have you forgotten that this is my own biological child? How can you?
So it's a guilty trip now.
For weeks on end, I was apologizing. The behavior, words, so many times, trying to make up for that.
So you also say life carried on, and you had another daughter in 2005.
Yes.
And he carried on being a good husband. And also, you would ask yourself, what is it that you have done to be blessed with such? Even after everything has happened, you still, was of the view that he's a good husband. And you say in 2009, your first daughter started urinating herself for about 2 weeks, and then it escalated. Can you also just take us through that, maybe?
Life went on. A father is bathing the children, taking them to school.
So you were not at any point paranoid and insecure?
No, and I felt like I had to prove to him that I trust him.
By letting him bathe the kids? I
trusted him with bathing the kids. I have to. But I won't lie. For a long time, there was that sound that was saying, but why did that child say this? Because her words, sometimes I would dream about those words, like hearing like she's saying it again afresh. It haunted me for a long time. But I fought it by and proving to him that I
trust you.
Now the child starts to urinate herself. Even during the day, while she was playing, she would not hold her urine just from outside to the bathroom. There would be drips on her way to the bathroom. And I would talk to him and ask him, do you see what's happening here? This child has been dry from when she was 2 years old. She stopped using any napkin even at night. So why would she just start urinating at night and even during the day, not being able to hold her own urine at age
9?
No, it was not age 9 because that was 2009.
2009.
She was born 2008, 2001. So she's 8 years old.
She's 8 now.
She's in grade 3. And he said, this child is taking after me. I said, how? He says, I grew up urinating. I asked him, did you urinate during the day? He said, no, at night. I said, but that's a problem that many kids have. And kids that have that problem, they urinate on the blanket at night. It's bedwetting. It's not during the day. It hardly ever happens during the day. This child has been dry for 6 whole years. So how can she just start having such a problem? We need to take this child to the doctor.
And you said it also escalated. She started pooping herself.
Yes. And then you know what he said? He said, I like wasting the medical aid. And I'd like to blow up things out of proportion. I never take things light. These things happen. I must consult his brother's wife. The children are also bedwetting. So they are bedwetting, but they are not urinating themselves and pooping themselves during the day. To a point where I had to take the child to the doctor by myself without his permission to have the child checked. The doctor refuses. Valid reasons. He said he was a male doctor. If this child was raped, that was trauma on its own. And if he comes and checks the child, examine the child, that's another trauma. Yes. So he said, let us prepare this child emotionally for physical preparation first. By taking the child to the child psychologist. The child psychologist would be able to run by play therapy. They would find if the child was truly sexually molested. Yes. And from there, if there's a need for physical examination, they would prepare emotionally. It made sense to me. Then we did that. He gave me 3 names of psychologists. I choose this one. I take the child to. The psychologist did play therapy with the child, but no report she said, give me some time. After a few months, I insist to get a report. And the report says, no, according to what I have realized, yes, my findings are this child is traumatized by the teacher at school. She's so afraid of the teacher. She even made an effort to go to the school herself, to go and monitor the child at school. She even went in the class and she reported that child is so afraid of the teacher. The trauma from that could be the one that's causing this whole Again,
it's a relief.
It's a relief
to the denial mother.
Because already by then now, when the child starts pooping and peeing herself, that thing comes back.
It comes back.
Now, if I get this explanation, it's another relief. Yes. Now she recommends we change the child from that school to another. We do that.
And you say things seemed to improve in your school.
They did.
So now come August 2010. In August 2010, so this is after the ordeal, right?
Yes.
You still stayed in the marriage for 2 more years.
Yes.
Okay. And why did you stay?
I felt like I had no reason to
want to
leave.
Okay.
He's still the same man, even though it's surprising that whenever there's a need for a child to be examined. Like that thing, he didn't support me. But then it was, for me, by then, still not a reason enough for me to leave. I haven't found a good reason that attaches him to this by then.
So you say come August 2010, I was all woken up by a very strange sound in the house in the middle of the night. I managed to drag myself out of bed, but my head was very fuzzy and heavy. It felt like I was dreaming. I followed the sound down our house passage, and the sound seemed to be coming from our guest room. The guest room door was open wide. When you came in the door, you said you got the shock of your life. You saw your husband naked and on top of your 8-year-old daughter.
Yes.
Can you just take us through that?
I see him here, naked on top of the child, and he sees me. Immediately he rose from her, and he came slowly towards me. Now my eyes go straight to the daughter. I see her lifeless. She's sleeping lifeless. And her face was towards the door. Her eyes are tightly closed. This suggests to me that she's fast asleep. Now my mind is like, why is she fast asleep while this person is doing
On
this
top
to
of
her?
them, naked.
Yes. And then he comes to me and he holds me by the hand. Then I fell down. That was it. I woke up by him in the morning. And I prepared the children, everything. I forgot about it. I get to work. By 10 o'clock, I will never forget. By 10 o'clock, I remember this. But this happened.
You had a flashback.
Yes, I have this flashback, and now it's fresh.
And it seems real.
Yes, and by the way, when I woke up that morning, I woke up with a huge, terrible back pain. I had a sharp back pain. Now, when I'm at work,
when you fell.
yes, okay. Probably when I fell.
When you fell.
But when I woke up, I could not make any.
You couldn't make up
yes,
what
not
happened. You had no
by
recollection.
10 o'clock, here comes this recollection of what happened. But I'm like, but this child, when she woke, she was fine. If that had happened for real, then she shouldn't be fine. She should have some complaints in the morning. There wasn't. Now I'm telling myself, okay, when I knock off at work, I'll look at her. I look at her, she's still fine again. I'm like, I ended up thinking, it must have been a dream. Denial of a married woman again. Kicks in again, says, this was a dream. To a point where I decided I'm not going to tell anyone about this. I'm going to look at him and see if he has done this. I'm going to, when he comes back from work, I'm going to look into his, if he has done something to me at night, or he has done something to the child at night, I'll see something. I'll see something from him. He comes back, I see a normal person. So I'm like, I convinced myself it must have been a dream. I went to that room while he wasn't there, just as I came back from work, and tried to look for some evidence of maybe what could have. I found nothing there. So just that no, I must have.
Also, now at this point, you're starting to reason to say maybe I'm being paranoid because of previous, incidents that occurred.
Definitely, you're putting it so well.
Okay, so you also say, and then life went on for another 2 years, and this time around you're bearing a son during that period. Now you have 3 children.
Yes.
So there's also an incident of the 4th of July 2012 where you say you found blood-stained leggings and a panty hidden in your husband's toolbox in the garage.
Yes.
Can you take us through that also?
And the irony of the matter is, this box, I'm sent to it by him. I've been living with that box in the house for many, many years. It's a toolbox. I'm not interested in men's stuff. What he does with the box, I know it to be the toolbox. It's in the garage between our 2 cars. Now by then I have a car, he has a car. So between our cars, there's this big box that's there, that has been there for years and years. And I happen to, it's 4th of July, it's holidays, school holidays. I'm cleaning in the house. I needed some black plastic bags. how good a husband he was, I didn't even know